Thank you for staying here till the end. If you're thinking about quitting drinking, on January 1st of 2022, I made a public announcement on social media and to my friends and family that I was not going to drink any alcohol for a year. On January 1st of 2023, I had a decision to make. Was I going to go back to alcohol? The decision was no. I made a video about this decision and put it onto my other YouTube channel. I got 1,000 comments from people on it. I got a bunch of DMs from people talking about how me sharing my thoughts and my experiences helped them or have helped them. Yesterday, actually, I got a message from a guy in Florida that DM'd me a bunch when he first saw that video and then has now since gotten 116 days sober. I'm not delusional enough to think that I was the person that made that guy change his mind. But he told me that I was a part in that. And I'm sharing this with you because I've been struggling lately with identity. I honestly think if I had the money and the resources or the ability to go to a mental health facility, I probably would have gone a few weeks ago. And I'm not sure why, but I think if I had to guess, the thing that keeps coming up for me, the word, the expression, the term is identity crisis. I think it's about money because I've been struggling to make enough money to keep up with my bills because I'm a freelancer and I'm also trying to do this content creation, YouTube thing, whatever. And I had a few jobs cancel in the month of June, and that really kind of put me in a place where I was scraping by. So that's very stressful. But also with my presence online, I've wanted to grow as a storyteller and as a filmmaker, as a visual artist. And that video where I talked about not drinking for a year did pretty well. It gained me over 1,000 subscribers almost overnight. I think I was at 480. And then I went from that to a little under 2,000, so a little more than 1,000. The numbers don't matter. But what does matter is I thought, okay, I found my thing. After a year of talking about, I've been 100 days sober, I've been 30 days sober, 6 months sober, 9 months sober. I thought that sobriety would be the one thing I wanted to talk about. And I do, but there's so much more to sobriety than just talking about not drinking. I don't go to AA meetings. Part of that is just because of the time that it would take to go. My kids are both in sports and I have to manage a house, and then I've got my YouTube presence. I've been pretty consistent about putting out videos. I freelance, and then I also, my fiance goes to a job. She makes a lot more money than I do. So she has given herself the title breadwinner, which, that's fine. We both make the bread. If it were a loaf of bread about this big, she makes about this much of the bread. I make about this much right now. And rightfully so, because of this fact, I manage the household that we live in. So just a bunch of stuff going on. I don't even know where I'm at right now. So I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. I thought that a path to becoming a bigger portion of the loaf of bread would be putting stories online, helping people. Years ago, before I even quit drinking and I started a YouTube channel, I was talking about how to get better together. Because I was stuck inside of a prison that I'd created for myself. And I kept trying different things. Mostly because I thought if I tried yoga for 30 days, I would have a video pop off on the YouTube algorithm, and then I could rake in that YouTube money. If I tried going vegan for 30 days, if I tried running for 30 days, and I've done all these things. I made a video about not drinking for 30 days. I made a video about not eating sugar for 30 days. But the video about not drinking alcohol for 30 days was the video that got the most attention. And I thought, well, there's something to this because I don't feel good when I drink. When I actually would drink alcohol, I'd feel great because I wouldn't have to deal with any of the chaos inside of my head. But that video, I think, worked because there's a lot of people that were and are struggling with alcohol, and it's, at least in the States, it's very easy to go anywhere to get alcohol. So if you're trying to quit, you can go to Olive Garden and get damn near blacked out. and no one really says anything. Someone might be like, don't drive, but it's one of the most, if not the most dangerous drug, and it's legal. And I think a lot of people resonated with that. I also think that me talking about my struggles with alcohol was probably the most genuine that I'd come across on camera, because it's something that I've struggled with for a long time. I didn't drink any alcohol in high school. Then I started drinking shortly after high school. Didn't drink much between 18 and 23. Lots of psychedelics, lots of marijuana. Met a woman who was a big fan of drinking. I started drinking with her. We had a kid together. I now have custody of that kid. I continued drinking because I'd made a habit of it, and also going through that custody battle, moving from Florida to Indiana with my son, restarting my life, dropping out of college, on a path to becoming a philosophy professor, getting great grades in college, to life completely being torn apart because of alcohol, moving to Indiana, becoming a waiter, trying to figure out how to go back to school, not making money. So I started playing poker. I was pretty good at that and gambled for a while. Supplemented income that way. Life was hard, and I used alcohol to cope. So anyway, I digress. I think that alcohol, clearly something I can talk about a lot. Me sharing my struggles with it is something people resonated with. But as I started sharing these on YouTube, it's hard to be vulnerable. And I started taking some of the comments I got from people, like the negative ones, personally. And maybe it's my ego. I don't know. It broke me. And I said that I was going to stop talking about alcohol on my main channel, or sobriety, because I thought that it was pointless for me to keep talking about it. And I don't think that's true. I think there's a lot to talk about. I want to learn about it. I want to share about it. I'm going to do that here on this channel. The videos might be more edited, but not much. I have a background as a filmmaker, a very entry-level filmmaker. I've been on the local news for a documentary I made, and I had the credentialing. I had a lanyard on at a conference a few months ago, and it said filmmaker and writer. So yeah, that's what I do. And I want to make videos that are interesting, that are edited, that have a good story to them. And I was trying to figure out how to balance that approach to visual storytelling on the internet with just sitting down and talking about drinking. And I think trying to what is it? Spectalize? I'm trying to make a spectacle of drinking, and to tell these visual stories about myself started to feel self-serving. And I had other things I wanted to talk about, and trying to figure out that chaos in my head as a creative person was driving me crazy. So this place right now where you're watching this video, I'm going to try my best to at least once a week put up a video where I sit and talk about things to do with alcohol, quitting alcohol, how it affects your brain, how it affected my brain, stories from my drinking. If you have questions, we'll answer them. And eventually, sooner than later, I'm going to start a community. It's going to be a paid community, but it's going to be for people that want to get sober or stay sober, for people that want to do this stuff without religion and without AA. You can go to AA, you can be religious, you can be a part of this community, that's fine. But no talks of God. No telling people in this group, you need to find Jesus. Because I'm an atheist. I'm an agnostic atheist. And for a long time, I honestly think for a long time, part of my shame core was detaching from fundamentalism, and it drove me crazy. And I started thinking there was no point in life, and why not just drink? And there's absolutely a point to life. Whether I'm worm food when I die or not is irrelevant. If I'm a nice person to someone at the grocery store, and they're nice to someone else, and then they're nice to someone else, that means I matter. I've got kids. I've started changing my life, becoming healthier, becoming a better version of myself, and they're seeing that, and they're inspired by that. And both of my kids my stepdaughter has a dad that is struggling with alcohol and being an idiot. My son has a mom that's struggling with alcohol, being an idiot. And they've watched me live my life the way I am. They've seen my beautiful relationship I've created with my fiance. And they're seeing these choices, and I'm by far, if it's not obvious by now, I'm by far from perfect. I'm the furthest thing from perfect, or I'm not close to perfect. I don't know. I'm very nervous right now because I know I'm being vulnerable, and I just don't want, I don't want to like say the wrong stuff, I guess. I don't think I'm perfect. I don't think I have all the answers, but I know that I'm living my life in a way that I would be happier with my kids if they were living their life the way I am versus how I was a few years ago. And I think part of, like I said, like the shame, the reason to drink was I didn't think there was a point to anything. I started to see points. I started becoming more confident. Honestly, quitting alcohol allowed me to be more confident in who I am and to say things like, I'm an atheist, an agnostic atheist who also thinks that there is some kind of point to life. And you could argue that that is spirituality, the fact that we're all connected and we're like a singular organism living on this rock floating through space, and the one bit of dignity and grace we can give ourselves is to be kind to other people and be of the service of other people. And that doesn't mean that there's a spaghetti monster going, boop, bitty boop, bitty boo, you go there. So I want to create a space for people. Like I said, paid community, you join, and it's a place where we can talk about sobriety, how to get sober, how to stay sober. And as a result of that community, that will be able to afford me the ability to keep making these videos, these free resources for people on the internet. So that way, hopefully, people that need help can be helped by me being a weirdo sitting here talking to a camera to post my story on the internet. Maybe people can be inspired and connect with other people in the comments, which is what happened to my other video that I put up on my main channel. So anyway, this is a long ramble, and thank you for staying here till the end. I want to leave you with this. If you're thinking about quitting drinking, you should try it for 3 days, a week, 30 days, a year, a month. And if you fail, that's okay. Try to quit again. It took me probably 8 years of trying to quit drinking to like abstain from alcohol for a period of 30 days or longer. And then it took me probably a dozen times of quitting for 30 days and trying to quit for 30 days and failing and then retrying. It took probably a dozen attempts at that to get to the place where I decided I'm going to quit drinking for a year. And then at the beginning of this year, I re-upped and I'm not going to drink again for this year. And then probably every year I'll sit for a few days and question and think about, do I want to go back? Do I want to go back to living in a prison of my own mind? And the answer to that question will probably always be no. But we're thinkers here, you and I. Love yourself. And once you start loving yourself, you can start loving other people. And even in this weird, cruel world full of suffering and crazy people that think that Jesus is coming to save them or Allah is coming to whatever, in this world full of crazy, crazy people, we can be a voice of reason. We can love ourselves. We can love other people. And we can go quietly into the night knowing that we did our fucking best. I love your face, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. If you have any questions about drinking or my journey, let me know in the comments. Thank you.